International Relations, 5th of October 2023, analyzing the politico-strategic drivers of Chinese military training. Soon after assuming office, Chinese President Xi Jinping unveiled a comprehensive military reform initiative to modernize weaponry and technology and enhance the People's Liberation Army's (PLA) readiness, organization, and training. The PLA has increased and intensified its military exercises as part of the modernization plan to advance combat readiness and preparedness. The goal is to complete the modernization of national defense and the military by 2035 and fully transform the People's Armed Forces into world-class forces by the mid-21st century. Beijing employs military drills for various objectives, including political and strategic ones and military training, enhancing military performance quality and testing new weaponry. But often disregarded are the politico-strategic aspects of Chinese military drills, which can have far-reaching implications for regional and international security. China's military drills close to Taiwan. China is using military drills to showcase its power and indicate that it is ready and able to reunify Taiwan. It is not a recent occurrence for China to utilize military drills to intimidate Taiwan by showcasing its military might. These drills are frequently used as a scare tactic to remind Taiwan of the possible repercussions of increasing its ties with the US. In a phone call with the United States, Xi Jinping warned, "Those who play with fire will perish by it." Last year's President Joe Biden. These warnings frequently highlight China's resolve to resist any measures that can be seen as endangering China's security and endorsing Taiwanese independence. The kinds of weapons used in the military drills indicate the extent to which China views a particular action by Taiwan or the United States as threatening. In reaction to Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen's meeting with U.S. officials, the PLA has carried out a live fire simulation, simulating strikes against Taiwan by deploying an aircraft carrier, long-range rockets, warships, fighter jets, and conventional missiles, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. Additionally, in the summer of 2022, after the then U.S. during the PLA's live-fire military exercises in Taipei during House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit, the hypersonic DF-17 missile, popularly known as an aircraft carrier killer, was fired. Since the Taiwan Strait crisis of 1996, the PLA has not fired conventional missiles into the surrounding waters until now. With the deployment of cutting-edge weaponry and equipment like aircraft carriers and missile systems, China's military drills have become more menacing. In addition, China has stepped up the number of military drills it holds in Taiwan. The Global Times reports that in the summer of 2021, the PLA conducted over 100 maritime maneuvers in the Bohai Maritime, Yellow Sea, East China Sea, Taiwan Strait, and South China Sea in just 3 months, despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Beijing seems to be using the threat of impending war to influence U.S. behavior by conducting frequent military drills near Taiwan. China's military strategy views large-scale drills as an important way to implement strategic deterrence. One of China's most important works on military strategy and doctrines, The Science of Military Strategy, emphasizes how military drills contribute to ambiguity and confusion. According to the statement, these drills show the opponent China's military's combat capabilities, cause the opponent to doubt China's intentions, and cause psychological panic to produce a deterrent effect. Nevertheless, instead of discouraging hostility, such acts can have the opposite impact. When tensions in the Taiwan Strait are growing, creating uncertainty is a risky tactic that can also raise the chance of misjudging an opponent's motive and resolve. If mistakenly perceived as strike preparations, China's military drills could unintentionally escalate tensions. By demonstrating its military might through massive drills, Beijing appears to be playing a risky game with Taiwan. Using military exercises as a signal is dangerous since they require the deployment of troops and equipment and may be seen as a lead-up to real military action. China is sending out more and more menacing signals through its military drills, which are being carried out more frequently and with ever more advanced equipment and weapons, suggesting a more assertive posture. China and Southeast Asian countries together conducting military drills. According to political scientist and historian Beatrice Heusser, military drills can deter enemies and reaffirm friendships with partners or allies, among other political and strategic goals. In an increasingly intense strategic struggle with the United States in the Asia-Pacific area, China utilizes joint military exercises as an instrument of foreign policy to demonstrate its friendship and build military connections with surrounding countries. Beijing's primary concern, which motivates this strategy, is that its neighbors might support the US against China at pivotal times. Except for North Korea, China has no sworn allies despite having nearly 20 nations bordering it on land and at sea. Even though it is geographically far from the area, the US has several partners close to China's borders. Washington has recently stepped up its military footprint in Asia-Pacific through frequent joint military exercises, high-level visits, arms sales, military support to friends and partners, and collaboration on defense technology. As an illustration, in addition to the 5 military bases covered by a 2014 agreement, the United States has announced plans to maintain a presence at 4 more bases in the Philippines. There are supposedly bases in the northern Philippines, near Taiwan, among the other ones. Furthermore, with over 17,600 military men, the US and its treaty ally held the biggest ever combined military drill in the Philippines. The Chinese embassy in Manila objected, claiming that the United States' acquisition of new military outposts was part of a broader American goal to confine and encircle China. China is especially sensitive to what it perceives to be a military besiegement by the United States due to the rising tensions in the Taiwan Strait and the US development of more military bases and troop deployments near China. Beijing believes the United States is strategically working with its neighbors to encircle China. Beijing aggressively participates in its cooperative military drills with countries in Southeast Asia in reaction to what it views as American moves to besiege China militarily. China uses these maneuvers as a diplomatic weapon to strengthen defense ties with its neighbors. Amanyoe, which combines the Chinese term for friendship with the Malay word for peace, is the name of China's planned multinational joint exercise. Later this year, Amanyoe will engage 5 countries in Southeast Asia: Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Laos, and Cambodia. The exact time, extent, and type of the exercises are still up for debate. China wants to step up joint military drills with Southeast Asian countries in reaction to the United States stepping up activities with its allies in the Asia-Pacific region, including the Philippines, Japan, and South Korea, according to the state-owned newspaper The Global Times. In this sense, bilateral and multinational joint drills are frequently called the soft use of hard power internationally. International joint military exercises are considered an essential part of China's military strategy, part of what strategists call non-war military operations. China has been stepping up joint exercises with its neighbors, especially in Southeast Asia, to deepen mutual understanding with friendly nations and enhance mutual political and military trust. The Science of Military Strategy, a well-known publication outlining Chinese military strategies and doctrines, emphasizes the significance of joint exercises with foreign militaries. At the Lpovkomodem Academy in May 2023, the Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) and the Lao People's Armed Forces (LPAF) held the Friendship Shield 2023 joint military exercises. A senior Chinese official underlined the significance of this combined training exercise in strengthening mutual trust and improving interoperability between the two militaries. Furthermore, the first-ever meeting between the two nations' senior officials of the maritime law enforcement agencies occurred in April when the People's Liberation Army and Vietnam conducted a combined patrol in the Biaba Gulf. In late April, China and Singapore conducted a cooperative maritime drill. The PLA and Cambodia conducted Golden Dragon 2023, a combined military exercise, in late March and early April. Among the nations that have historically maintained close ties with China is Cambodia. The deputy commander of the PLA Southern Theater Command, Vice Admiral Wei Wenhui, emphasized that the joint exercise between the forces of China and Cambodia provided a vital forum for communication, mutual education, and combined training. Additionally, it was essential in achieving the expected purpose of deepening security cooperation and consolidating the profound friendship. Beijing typically employs military drills for various purposes, from testing new weaponry and army training to achieving broader foreign policy goals and enhancing military performances and battle readiness. Beijing's primary goal is to ensure that its neighbors are not siding with the US against China as tensions in the Taiwan Strait grow. It assures them of its friendliness through various diplomatic measures, such as joint military drills. China and Russia's combined military exercises. Along with senior defense officials' visits, weapons exchanges, and collaboration on military technologies, Beijing and Moscow have been enhancing their defense cooperation. A roadmap for military cooperation for 2021 to 2025 was agreed in November 2021 by Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chinese Defense Minister Wei Feng to direct their bilateral defense cooperation. As China moves toward intensifying and increasing its military exercises with Russia, it raises the crucial question of what political strategic objectives Beijing hopes to accomplish through these drills with Moscow. The roadmap strongly emphasized increasing bilateral collaboration on strategic military exercises and joint patrols. China is assuring Russia of its friendship through military drills. China has participated in several yearly military exercises conducted by Russia, such as Vostok 2018, Centrat 2019, Kavkaz 2020, Zapad 2021, and Vostok 2022. Furthermore, since 2012, the two countries have organized cooperative naval drills. Additionally, they carried out cooperative counterterrorism exercises in 2007, 2013, 2016, 2017, and 2019. These exercises are known as cooperation. The frequency and scope of these joint workouts have increased significantly over time. China welcomed Russia's yearly military drill on its soil for the first time, hosting Zapad 2021 in the Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. The Chinese state-run Global Times highlighted the significance of this joint exercise by stating that its goal is to deepen the pragmatic cooperation and traditional friendship between the two militaries and consolidate the comprehensive strategic partnership in a new era between China and Russia. In a joint statement issued during a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping in March, Moscow recently vowed to back China on the Taiwan issue. In the statement, Moscow reaffirmed its support for China's efforts to protect its territorial integrity and state sovereignty, its recognition of Taiwan as an integral part of the People's Republic of China and its rejection of any form of Taiwanese independence. Beijing would probably try to strengthen its military connections with Moscow if tensions in the Taiwan Strait remain high, given that the two countries lack an explicit military alliance. Joint military exercises may promote military cooperation and strengthen tactical interaction between the two militaries. Beijing uses combined military exercises with Russia to communicate politically with the US and its main allies near China's frontiers. China hopes to deter any acts that could jeopardize its interests or threaten its territorial integrity by demonstrating its close connections and military cooperation with Russia, especially with Taiwan. The purpose of the joint drills, according to China, is deterrence. If China plans to invade Taiwan soon, one of the most important things it could do would be to warn important U.S. allies like Japan and South Korea against becoming involved in the fight by implying that a showdown with Beijing would be costly. Joint military drills and air and naval patrols with Russia, purportedly as a show of Russian support, could be an efficient way to accomplish this. On June 6, 2023, China and Russia jointly flew strategic aviation patrols over the Sea of Japan and the East China Sea. It was their sixth joint air patrol since 2019. The two countries' increased level of cooperation is reflected in their increasing frequency of patrols. Two coordinated air patrols between the Chinese and Russian armies were conducted over the West Pacific, East China Sea, and Sea of Japan last year. When the leaders of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad, convened in Tokyo in May last year, the two countries dispatched strategic bombers near Japan. Subsequently, in November of last year, the Russian aerospace forces, escorted by Moscow's Su-30SM and Su-35S fighters, sent two 95ms strategic missile carriers between Japan and South Korea, while the Chinese People's Liberation Army sent H-6K strategic bombers. Bombers from China and Russia intimidated one of the U.S.'s most significant regional allies when they flew above South Korea's air defense identification zone. Even while relations between China and Russia are improving, it is highly improbable that Russia will get involved in a Taiwan-related conflict directly. Beijing, however, can confuse U.S. friends in the area by doing joint military drills and sending the message that China and Russia are together in the face of regional difficulties. This strategy, therefore, resembles the empty city concept, according to which, even if Russia is not supporting China, the impression that it is can be made. Despite the lack of an official military alliance between Moscow and Beijing, China utilizes the drills to intimidate its regional rivals during escalating tensions in the Taiwan Strait and to reassure Russia, its most significant strategic ally,